Aloha, I'm Kiana Cayabyab, and here are today's top Hawaii headlines from the editors at the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. A $100 refund check for every taxpayer and each dependent. That's what Governor David Ige proposed today in his State of the State speech at the Hawaii State Capitol. For a family of four, that means an extra $400 in their pocket. Ige says that will inject $110 million back into Hawaii's economy. Ige spoke from the governor's ceremonial room rather than before legislators and audience because of COVID-19 concerns. The governor also addressed healthcare, education, economic recovery, the Red Hill water crisis, and the state budget. Ige says draining the fuel tanks at Red Hill is a good first step, but leaders must work together to find long-term solutions. Ige says the virus has exposed gaps in the state's healthcare system, including critical shortages of doctors and nurses. Ige is asking the state legislature for funding to expand the University of Hawaii's doctor residency program, strengthen the university's nursing program, and add more clinical instructors at local community colleges. Visit staradvertiser.com to watch the full video. Hawaii health officials today reported 2,660 new coronavirus cases. No new coronavirus-related deaths were reported today. So far, 1,146 people have died statewide. The state's total number of cases since the start of the pandemic now stands at 204,933. Oahu saw 1,554 new infections, 303 on the Big Island, 456 on Maui, 285 on Kauai, 13 on Molokai, 16 on Lanai, and 33 Hawaii residents diagnosed outside the state. Hawaii officials say 55,723 COVID cases are considered to be active. The state saw 902 fewer active infections. According to the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, 394 people are currently hospitalized. The Honolulu Fire Department has determined the cause of a fire that broke out at a high-rise building in Kaka'ako as accidental. The fire started in the bathroom in the unit on the 39th floor of the collection, located at 600 Ala Moana Boulevard. It happened around 2 in the afternoon Sunday. Smoke alarms in the unit went off, and the fire department says the fire was extinguished before crews arrived. No injuries were reported. The total damage is estimated at $3,500, including $3,100 to the structure and $400 to its contents. There was no damage to neighboring units. The Army broke ground last week for a new maintenance facility at Wheeler Army Airfield. The facility is intended to replace the 90-year-old facilities the service has relied on at the historic base. It's the first of 3 and is expected to be finished in 3 years. Several military units in Hawaii rely on aging and obsolete facilities. Military planners often struggled to balance preserving historic sites on local bases and the demands of a modern force. Top policymakers were more concerned with conflict in the Middle East and interests waned in the Pacific. Now tensions have escalated along critical Pacific trade routes, and China has emerged as a world power. The Pacific and Hawaii are now back in the spotlight with regaining foreign policy establishments' attention. The site of the new facility sits within view of the old hangars that are still in use today. Timmy Chang was hired as the Hawaii head football coach on Saturday, replacing Todd Graham, who resigned in January. Now Chang is beginning to assemble his coaching staff. Abraham Elmimian and Jacob Yoro are among the assistant coaches expected to stay on. Elmimian is a former UH shutdown cornerback who joined the Rainbow Warriors as a defensive backs coach in 2015 and coached the running backs in 2021. He was a graduate assistant for 2 years under June Jones at SMU, then coached at Washington State and Simon Fraser before returning to his alma mater. He was promoted to defensive coordinator for the 2015 regular season finale. Elmimian and Chang were UH teammates for 4 seasons through 2004. Yoro and Chang are St. Louis school graduates. Yoro's extensive coaching background included serving as assistant head coach and defensive coordinator at Pacific and defensive backs coach at Cal Poly. He joined the UH coaching staff in 2017. He was interim head coach after Graham resigned. The Warriors are preparing for this coming recruiting weekend. They are hopeful that some players who transferred from UH would consider returning. For more on these stories and all the latest headlines, subscribe to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Visit Hawaii's top source for breaking news online at staradvertiser.com and download the Star-Advertiser mobile app. Mahalo, have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.